This is the iconic Greggs sausage roll in the UK. Millions are sold every day and they're made in factories like this.
Greggs factories produce puff pastry with exactly 96 layers for the perfect flaky texture. They are then finished with an egg wash for that iconic golden shine.
So today, the plan is to head back to the garden kitchen. This is not going to plan. See if we can recreate the iconic taste of this. Damn, that's good. Why is it so good? Just a moment ago, I popped to the land of sausage rolls to ask a very important question.
Is it true all the pastries have got like different lines on it, so you know what?
Yeah, they do, so on the bag,
Yeah.
it tells you all of them.
Ah, right.
So that it makes it easier for you to see.
Ah, that's pretty cool.
So hopefully it will taste the same, look the same, and actually if it doesn't, we can blindfold Hugo and see if he can taste the difference at the end.
That was even worse than the last one.
Well, that was a very formal start, wasn't it? I felt like I had my own TV show. It's quite nice to be back in the garden kitchen, although I will tell you one thing, I bought 4 of these, and I don't know how it happened. One of them I took out of the wrapper and shoved it in my coat pocket, which is now actually just like my car, full of puff pastry. Would you agree, Hugo?
Yeah, it was a puff pastry party.
So what's the easiest way to get a Greggs sausage roll? Well, you can buy it and fill your car with puff pastry. You can actually go to a supermarket, and I just did this with my ingredients. I went and picked up some ready-made ones. Look at these! Like the proper legit ones from Greggs themselves. These are actually cheaper than buying them in Greggs. So we'll try those. We'll do a bodged homemade one with ready-made puff pastry and then do our best to actually clone the final taste. It is gonna be a proper sausage roll party. Let's get going. Now I must admit, I do not have Greggs that often at all. Oh, hello. Look, they've got a little egg wash on it. Hugo, do you have these a lot?
Yeah, I have a fairly often at home.
Well, we might as well bake them all up. I mean, it's not like I haven't already had sausage rolls today. But what I'm excited for is just seeing, like, hopefully I've got an excuse if we overly brown these. Because let's be honest, hello, here comes your relative. They aren't like proper golden brown, are they? There's a little paleness to them, like lightly golden. Just for reference, before we shove this in the oven, I have decided to remove one back in the freezer so I can use it as a sort of like a benchmark thing for quality control. They are quite slender. 25 minutes that goes in there for. I don't want to take another bite out of this. I've got these random sausage rolls I've taken bites out of. I feel like a seagull. You know that well-known action film actor, Steven Seagal? I'll get my coat. But they are quite flat looking, but the thing that for me, actually I don't want to talk about the other end here, there's a massive gap there. Look, there's like nothing there. Hello, where is the sausage gone? But here, like it does look like just sausage meat, but there's a bit more to it. It's like a slight herbiness, like a little pepperiness. And I went on the Greggs website on the nutritional data and had this crazy chart that it threw up and it just completely blew my mind. Yeah, indeed, this Google search here wasn't too helpful. It had a mountain of ingredients. I thought, oh my gosh, well, we just picked these up. What does this say? Surely we can find out something helpful. Well, ingredients.
Water, fortified wheat flour, calcium carbonate, iron, niacin, thiamine, pork,
20% pork? Is that it?
palm oil, rusk, wheat, salt, wheat, protein, rapeseed oil, wheat, gluten, modified starch, yeast extract, pea fibre, sugar, sunflower oil, mono and digericides of fatty acids, skim milk powder.
Colour carotenes. And that's about it, as simple as that. Oh my God, that is a lot. You don't think about that when you buy your sausage roll. We've got to try and bodge this, but let's first of all see what these have turned out like. Gotta be honest folks, a little bit worried. They baked for 25 minutes, it's been 20 minutes and they're still looking a little bit pale, like a British bloke on holiday trying to get a suntan. I'm not referencing myself, well, I probably am, I don't tan very well, but hey ho, we'll give it another 5 minutes, let's see what they look like. They look more like Greggs sausage rolls than the actual Greggs sausage rolls, but they look good. They have actually puffed up nicely and evenly. I would say a nice consistent colour. And I think for research purposes, I will have at least a bite. Oh, it's piping hot, it's smoking. The Pied Piper of sausage rolls today. Here we go. Mmm. Ooh, that does not taste the same as that, Greggs. It's crunchier. The sausage is much more plump. Hopefully we can see that. Considering I have also had one of theirs fresh today, the homemade ones, which are actually cheaper, probably because you've not got to pay for the electricity bill of the venue where you're buying it from and all that other stuff, they are actually nicer. All right, beautiful. So now we're gonna do the bodged homemade one. If you wanna make some homemade sausage rolls, Greggs style-y, and an emergency with just 2 ingredients, this is gonna be the option and we'll see how authentic this tastes. Okay then folks, so I have got myself a brand of ready-made puff pastry here. I've talked about this before. We're gonna do homemade puff pastry in a bit. And it is just like a bit of a nightmare to make. It's a lot of effort, but so worth it. There's different levels to that. We'll talk about that later. But I mean, even getting these sheets like this versus the blocks that you get. Have I done that the wrong way? Where is the lip? Oh, there it is. Wow. And the cool thing with it, it actually comes, you can use this as your baking paper, but I'm just gonna try and make this as consistent as possible. I'm gonna use the same pan that we baked those Greggs ones in. Yeah, so let's just get this out. Oh my gosh, you can see. Obviously, it's going to be wider than that because we need to encase the pork. But I'm going to take a pizza cutter and use that as a rough guide so we can get, hopefully, a decent height on that. If I just make a tiny little incision there, I feel like I'm going to go just slightly over double and then use that as a template, which now means if the template is wrong, they're all going to be wrong. Maybe I'll make this one a little bit longer. Just because we want that seam, it has got that little row there that they pressed down. And that's just flattened. They haven't squished it with a fork. I might have to do that to make sure it's encased. But there we go. We have got 3 chances for sausage rolls. We'll come back to this. All right then, folks. In this bowl, I have some sausage meat. It's like buying a sausage without the skin on it. This is actually lightly seasoned with a little bit of black pepper. I've just studied a sausage roll, one of the Greggs ones. I've got one clean hand here, so I'll go get it. And this is actually one of the store-bought ones. If you look end to end, it's actually sausage right up to the border of it. So yeah, I'm just trying to make it into just a long sausage shape, isn't it? But if we get it down on here, just place it. Oh my gosh, that's quite good. I'm just trying to make sure that it's fairly even. I think that's actually in the wrong place, to be fair. Damn it. I'm going to try and slide it along a little bit because we need to be able to get that overlap. But I've just washed my hands. Let me see if, can we get that? Oh no. That's far too much. Maybe I can stretch the puff pastry a little bit. Is it going to go round? Oh, it might, you know, if I... Oh gosh. Yes, okay, we have got some bitage. The other ones I'm going to do, I'm going to put in slightly less sausage. Okay, that's not a bad first effort. All right, so this one, I thought I'd put less in it. Let's see if we got a bit more here. The cool thing is, as long as you get it to sort of roll with it, and that is not a pun intended. Although randomly, I think one of the Gallagher's sons, Gene Gallagher, liked one of my Instagram story reel things the other day, which is pretty cool, I think. Just got a vision of him going to his dad going, hey, should we try this out, Dad? And he goes, I said, maybe. No, sorry. Terrible. Much happier with that. Okay, I've put significantly less sausage in this. This was the biggest piece. Is this a case of third time lucky? Did that phrase originate from me making homemade Greggs sausage rolls? I doubt it. Well, it's quite clearly didn't, but this, if we just let it, oh, we've got it. We have got it, folks. I'm just pushing this down and letting it bite naturally. That is incredible. Oh my word. I've absolutely nailed that. That is the best one I've done. I'm going to chill it. And that's not only going to help with the slash marks, but I'll explain just before we bake it. And my hands are everywhere. Yeah, you go in there, buddy. All right. I wasn't supposed to sound like that actor. Who's like, all right, all right. Who says that, Hugo? All right.
No idea.
We like films. All right, so here they are out the fridge. Why is it cold? Well, if we try and slice the pastry once it's gummy, it will not... Oh, hello. We're getting a good indent in that. That's better than I thought. Crikey. If I tried doing this after we shaped it, it goes to like room temperature, doesn't it? So it sort of goes a bit gummy. So it would kind of stretch and rip, which is why we're doing this step before the egg wash. Because if we egg wash it, we're going to make it wetter and gummy and the knife might slide and it might make it, well, yeah, not really be as defined as hopefully those lines look. Another reason why it's cold, so that we can actually latch the egg wash onto it. Now, I actually think that this egg wash is going to make it be a little bit more golden, but hopefully it won't. And the final thing is we get these in the oven. In you go. 25 minutes again, we've got to try and keep it consistent. So the other thing, if you've ever tried to do homemade puff pastry baking, sometimes you get a soggy bottom. And I'm not saying that you're cooking underwater, no. And that term is sometimes used in like beef Wellingtons as well, which use puff pastry. But a good way around that is if you make sure your tray is also cold rather than at room temperature, it gives it something like less to bite to and adhere to, kind of keep that independence. You know, like Beyonce, independent woman. Independent sausage roll. Honestly, if I could applaud myself right now, these look amazing. They might be better than Grog's. I'm so sorry, but I think these... Ah! Damn you, oven gloves! Ow! Gosh, that was a hot tray. We've got some incredible puffage on there. They've risen up, but they've locked that sausage in there. We've got that golden shine there from the egg. I think the slash marks look incredible, which is probably a phrase you wouldn't want to hear at Halloween, is it? Oh, and the bottom, look, not soggy at all. A nice light golden color. Here we go. What are they? Oh, it is really good. That is blooming gorgeous. The sausage meat texture, it's nearly there. It's perhaps the flavor's not quite enough, and it doesn't need much. The bar has been set exceptionally high now because I'm going to do the homemade puff pastry. I did homemade pan of chocolates a couple of years ago, and that was like a proper laminated dough for hours. I don't think it justifies that. As you'll see on the screen right now, it's a lovely golden finish. But from a 2-ingredient theory of replicating a Greggs sausage roll, or even possibly something nicer, There goes that brand deal. This is gonna be hard to beat, so let's give it our best shot. Sorry to take you away from the Greggs video for just a moment, but I found out the other day that over 60% of you that regularly watch my videos aren't subscribed to my channel, so please consider doing so you know about upcoming videos such as this, and yes, that is supposed to be me. Anyhow, back to Greggs. All right, homemade puff pastry. This is sort of like a more easier way to make it rather than some crazy butter disc. The most important thing though is to keep it cold. That's the only tip that I've generally found works. If you've got any others, let me know. I mean about puff pastry, not generally in life. That'd be great, thanks. All right, some strong bread flour, some salt, and this will just all get mixed together anyway, but this is some cold butter that I've chilled, okay? Now, there's this step that I've shared before. I hate doing where like you rub your fingers and thumbs together. I describe it as, I hate it, I hate that. So luckily I've got this tool to help with that, where you just sort of blend the cold butter into the flour. So you're basically trying to rub the fat in, but we don't want to make it go all the way there. And it's important for it to be cold because it's that coldness that helps like once it puffs up. It's not going to bind completely like this. So on the subject of cold, we have got some cold water from the tap just to keep that temperature nice and low. All right, so I use that tool just to get it like Scooby-Doo, so shaggy. Then we just bring it all together. There we go. I mean, it does look a bit more like a cauliflower at the moment. A little bit of flour, but not much, because at this stage, again, like the heat from your hands, we're gonna warm it up. So we just want to get it into a disc like that. So once it's in like this, you've probably got a bit of tolerance. Because we can increase the surface area, which will make it cool down quicker, you've probably got a bit to squidge it out, knowing it's not gonna stick and it's sort of encased within there, not gonna get all messy. Let's get it in the fridge to keep it cold. Quite like the irony that I'm putting it in there next to the box of Greggs sausage roll I'm using as a template, but that is gonna get proper origami style. All right then folks, time is of the vanilla essence. This is nice and cold, but it won't stay that for long. Don't rush it, but also don't take it out of the fridge too soon, because if this is too warm, all that butter will merge in together. So basically what we want to do is, oh my gosh, I forgot my board's got feet on it. There you go, that's better. I got to put weight on the board and all this as well. We're going to roughly roll it out like so. See, it's nice and strong, okay? Now just tidy it up a little bit. Kind of want to make a rectangle that you then fold in like double doors, okay? So one towards you and the other one towards the middle as well, like that. If you can imagine, we've got like pockets of butter in all those layers now, but you now go again over like that to sort of double it up even more. This is so different to just going to a shop and buying it, right? You can then roll it out some more and continue to do that. So it is quite long-winded. You suddenly respect all of these things in the factory, however they do. I'd love to go and do a video on that. Yeah, it might not look that exciting, but there's some serious buttery layers in there. Here we go then. I'm gonna flour it again just in case. Woo! Well, that feels nice and cold. Push it down a little bit to help it. I've given up on my board. I got bored of it. Way! So exactly the same as before. Doors, this is my doors into the middle, and then a book over the top, and you can keep going if you really want. That's a video I really wanted to do where you just do like unnecessary multiple layers of lamination. The Pano chocolate one I did, I pushed it even more. We actually have a cold chilled butter disc in it, and you fold that in and you can see the layers. This is a bit more of a simple one. It might not be as good as that one, but this is the thing with the Greggs one. I feel, and we've already seen it already, but that pastry isn't that epic. But there we go, another chill with that, and we can use this. This is that sausage meat we used before, and the texture of it was absolutely perfect. I did buy some pork mince, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to get it as smooth as that actually is. And I don't know for the life of me if I'm just going bonkers, but I thought there was sort of like apple notes in a Greggs sausage roll. In fact, I even bought an apple. I thought there was like chunks of onion. I bought an onion, but if anything, it's fine. The consistency of this is perfect. I just wanna enhance the flavors with some of the things that it said were on the box. I mean, it's not like I'm gonna get some diacetyl tartaric acid esters of mono, although I am kind of gutted there's no MSG in there. Yeah, so I have to be honest, we might end up seasoning this a little too much, but why the heck not? Thyme, salt, sage, garlic powder, and onion powder. That 100%, I was so close to chopping up an onion really, really fine, even just a little bit. But I just feel like the texture was perfect. And lastly, some white pepper, which was definitely on the ingredients. But I'm just gonna mix this together, get it all worked in there, because we know we've roughly got our dimensions right now. We just need to like not use as much. That's pretty much it. All right, just before I get this dough out and start to roll it, this is the leftover stuff from the factory, and you can see how thin this is. I mean, no pressure, but look look how smooth and consistent that is in colour. When you make it homemade, you do get this little marbling of butter where you can see the lamination. So it might look slightly different. Yeah, and there's like no science to this. I'm just gonna try and roll it out as thin as I can. We can press this down, and it doesn't matter so much about the rectangle now to me. We're just gonna roll it out. And to be fair, that actually looks pretty darn consistent. I wanna get less rectangly so that we can actually cut into it. I mean, that's almost the right shape there. And that is quite thin already, to be fair. It's doing quite well. And the cold is really, really helping. I can see the flakiness in it. I think we are about the same thickness here. And that is actually quite consistent. I'm really happy with that. Wow. So let's just get it onto this board so that I don't ruin my worktop. Let's straighten this up. Oh, why is that so fun? Look at that. I'm not gonna say they're perfect right angles, but they'll do. Just gonna trust going as straight as I can on this. I mean, straight as I can in quotes. So there's one there, 2, and then a little bit, like an extra 10%. I think that seemed to do it, okay? And if I've nailed this, and they're almost perfect, this is gonna be brilliant. Yep, there we go. I mean, this one's got a bit of a kink in it. Hopefully that'll get flattened out. I've already shaped the sausages, let's do this. So I've put it, I guess, kind of into like the second third, so you've got a bit of space there, but enough slack to be able to lift it up. The best thing I can say is like line up the corners first, and then a little press. I mean, let's be honest, if you don't want it perfect, just do a classic like fork. It's got a slightly yellowy hue to it. Maybe I'm using more butter than the store-bought stuff. I will say that seam is just a touch too wide. I'm trying to be a perfectionist now. This is so unlike me. There you go. There you go. Right, 2 more. With these, I'm really happy. It's a bit of a wild card as to what the puff pastry is gonna do. But again, like we did with the store-bought pastry, let's chill this so we can get the pan cold, the pastry nice and chilled. It will help with the slash marks as we saw and lock on that egg wash. Here we go then, guys, nice and chilled. So hopefully this will help as we saw earlier, and also made some smaller ones with the leftovers. I feel like we kind of got this down quite well before. Oh gosh, might need to help it. There we go. I was a bit worried because at first I was going to just brush them in milk thinking how pale they were, but when I saw their store-bought ones from the supermarket having the egg wash on it, then yeah, there we go, folks. I'm so excited. Tell you what, I am very happy with them. I've no idea what they're going to turn out like though. I said I was all sausage roll out. I think I can do one more. Have a look at those. Oh, you can sort of see, maybe I over buttered it, but it's like weeping out. Ah, I've done it again, the blooming oven glove. Ow! The slash marks have worked. Maybe a little extra puffage, but hey, I'm over the moon that they still look like sausage rolls. The colour's good. It smells incredible. That is what is driving me to want to try some more. Hopefully that extra seasoning has really helped. Let's have a try. Oh, folks, feels like Christmas Day. I've run out of plates, so I've just got any spare random cutlery I can get. So eating it out of a bowl, well, it's normally out of a bag, right? It does smell good. I'm loving like the even colour on the back there. Just got to show you that there. I'm so happy with these lines. That sausage has got so much flavour to it. And also, there's like a crumbly, crispy, buttery texture to the puff pastry. You can taste the puffs in the pastry. I guess that's a good thing. But of course, for me to say which I prefer, hopefully you can tell from that, there is still quite a difference there, even between the 2 Greg ones. So I did tease the idea of Hugo being blindfolded. I think you might want to see that.
Where am I? Let's go from left to right. That was really good and flavourful. Oh, this feels very manufactured. That one's very dry and lacking flavour. That one's even drier. That one's even worse than the last one. This is the worst. That's absolutely dreadful. This one's the second worst. It's, you know, it's okay, a bit more plump. This one is third. Oh, and this one is the best. Oh, the best one is the bodged one. Was it? Yeah, that's amazing though. I mean, I guess I've kind of beaten Greg's if that was the idea. That is genuinely lovely, I love that. But yeah, great job. I think the question to ask is, was it worth it today? If you need to get a Greg's, you want that quick sausage roll fix, you know what you're gonna get, and they are good. Like in isolation, apart from that, I was loving it. The homemade though, the crunch, that extra flavour, it just feels so much fresher. I'll leave it up to you.